guys, it's Bree, and quick, can we just let me fangirl for a quick moment? I'm here in my car, but I have received House of Thorns by Lee Mountford. As you guys know, he is absolutely one of my favorite authors. I've given everything he's read 4 or 5 stars. It's always been immaculate. He writes a lot of paranormal, occult, creepy, ghost, demonic stories, which I really like and really do captivate me. And his books, I'm always so enthralled by them, so I just constantly want to read more and more and more of him. So I'm very fortunate that he reached out, and I have a bookmark too, and he actually sent me a copy of his newest book, and he even signed it for me. I'm so grateful and so very excited about this. So I thought, what better way than to do a reading vlog about this and talk to you guys on my way through and just really dive specifically into this only for this video, just this. We can read the back now. It just released in February and I just got it and I'm so excited. But the back says, when Emily arrived to Emerus House, a sprawling old manor turned children's home, she hopes for a fresh start. But alongside her new companions, Ollie, Daniel, and Lucy, she soon discovers that the house is far from ordinary. Strange sounds echo in empty halls, shadows move in impossible ways, and an unseen presence seems to be watching their every move. Years later, the 4 friends, now adults, return to Emerus House to honor a promise to their enigmatic guardian, Eleanor. But the house has changed, and so has the darkness within it. What begins as a reunion quickly descends into a nightmare as the group is forced to confront horrors beyond their comprehension. In House of Thorns, childhood fears take in monstrous forms in a chilling tale of loyalty, courage, and unrelenting grip of the past. Will they escape Emerus House once more, or has it been waiting for their return all along? Ooh. And on the front, it has like the best quote ever. The past never dies, it waits. Just look at this. I'm so excited. So, while I'm here, I'm on my lunch break, I might as well start the beauty that is this. So, we'll just dive right in. It's a hefty book. His books usually run around 300 or so pages, but this one is a whopping 504 pages, so it's definitely thicker than his usual books. But I'm so ready, I'm so excited, and I just can't wait to dive in with all of you. So let's get reading, shall we? They even have floor plans in this one. How cool is that? So you get a better look at the actual house itself, so you can really visualize it. That's just the coolest. I love when books do that, when they help you visualize the entire scene. So, already, I'm so in. Alright guys, so, quick update time. I am about 80 pages in. I am 79 pages in, and I am on chapter 7. And already, you know that something's going down in this house. So, our main character, Emily, has arrived at this home for kids that used to be like this big house with like, an old-timey Victorian-ish house. Beautiful, had servants, all that fun historical stuff. And now it's run by a sweet old lady named Eleanor, who's, I shouldn't say old, she's like in her 50s, but to kids, they're all, I think the youngest is 9, 10, 9, what are you, 9, 11, 11, and 12. So 2 boys, 2 girls. Emily is the last one to arrive. She just lost her parents. We're learning all the kids' stories right now about how they lost their parents. It's very cute, very bonding. They love each other. It's a very sweet, wholesome story right now, minus the tragedy of all the kids losing their parents in some horrific fashion. But you just know the basement's always locked. The kids aren't allowed down there. They're allowed free range of the house except the basement. One of the younger kids, Daniel, he starts hearing things. He knows Eleanor, something's weird. He doesn't fully trust her. So we're only in the very beginning of this, and already something's going on. I'm so intrigued and ready to read more, and it's the perfect time right now. It is dark, it's stormy, it's windy, it's rainy. It's the perfect atmosphere. So we're gonna continue to dive right on in. And we're going to start with chapter 7 and see where it goes. And I will keep you guys updated as we continue. So, the social worker has come now and is checking in with Emily to make sure she enjoys her new home. This lady, Miss Clement, literally said we send kids to another home which is not a good home, so I'm happy that you want to stay because we failed, basically. Keep in mind, Emily's 11, who just lost her parents and is settling into a new home. I don't trust this lady anymore. Not even a little. Who tells a kid that? Who says, oh good, you picked the right home because all the other homes are filled with bad people. This is the only good place. Something's not right with Mrs. Clement. Alright guys, quick update. So I am about 50% of the way done now, and I am officially done with the past story, the children's side of the story, and moving on into the present day. And by this point in the book, we now know some bad things are going down at the house. There's been some lies, some truths. We don't fully know if we can still trust the caretaker, Eleanor, or not. She confuses me because I feel like I want to trust her, and she has moments where I'm like, oh, she really, okay, but then she says something and I'm like, maybe I don't trust you, or, clearly you're involved in something, but what that something is, I'm not sure. And I'm super excited to figure out what that is, and while there have been hints along the way, nothing is so blatantly obvious that makes you lose interest in the book. So I'm super excited. We've seen the creatures, we've had scares, we've had drama, we've had regret, we've had fire. I'm so ready to see what the second half brings. So I'm going to continue to read, and I will check in with you guys later on. let's chat, shall we? I have officially finished House of Thorns by Lee Mountford, which is an absolute masterpiece of a book. And as you know, we follow the 4 kids and their journey through Emma's house. But in like the middle of the book, like halfway through the book, it splits to their older selves, and that's when the book really just takes off. But let's recap. So we follow Emily, who's our main antagonist in this book. She just lost her parents and has become an orphan and has been selected to go to this group house, orphanage. I don't really know how to describe it, but there are 3 other kids there. There's Ollie, Daniel, and Lucy, who are all roughly around the same age, Lucy being the youngest, followed by Daniel, and then Ollie is the oldest. And she comes into this house and they open their home to her. They love her. They accept her right away. And the first half of the book is following that story about Emily kind of getting situated, learning to trust. There's creepy things happening in the house. Their caretaker, Eleanor, she kind of goes off into the night and it's unsettling. One of the kids, Daniel, doesn't get a good vibe from the house at night. He says something's weird, something's off. They start hearing things, seeing things, and it gives that creepy slow burn atmosphere. And then it kind of crescendos and then kind of breaks. It stops when the kids are in this, spoiler if you don't want to hear it, in this massive house fire there. And you don't know what happened to the house fire. There's a lot of things leading up to that, but the house fire is like the middle point of the book, and that's where it stops. It breaks. And then it skips to the kids being older and going back to Emma's house. So the house fire destroys the house, it burns it down, and Eleanor says, if I ask you guys to come back, even if it's a long time from now, would you come back? And they all say, absolutely, we love you, we love the house, we love each other, we think of each other as siblings, we will absolutely be back. So when we time skip, we follow Emily still, but she is much older, probably in her late 40s, mid 40s, somewhere around there, and she is back at Emma's house, and she doesn't really know what brought her there. She just knows that she's there and that she was summoned there somehow, some way. So she goes into the house, and this is when the book really ramps up the horror. The first half of the book, I would consider it more like a thriller. It's kind of a very whodunit vibe. We're trying to figure out the secrets of the house, whereas the second half of the book is very much horror at the core of it. You get the body horror, you get the gore, you get the murders, you get it's insane, the twists and turns in the second half of the book, which is just absolutely amazing to dive into. But we follow the 4 kids in a much older state. However, I don't know what happened to the camera, why we have shifted, but the kids in the much older state, there's a little quirk. So Emily meets Daniel in the house, and Daniel is roughly around the same age as her, and she, obviously younger because he was younger before, they're catching up, they're chit-chatting, and then they meet this very old woman in the house. And the old woman, as it turns out to be Lucy, who was the youngest of the 4 of them. And they can't figure out how all of a sudden she's so much older than them. And then, out of the corner of Daniel's eye, he spies a small child. And they quickly realize that that small child is Ollie, who doesn't look like he has aged a day since they were all ripped apart from each other. And it just goes horrific from there. There's a creature that's hunting them, and it tears them apart in horrific, brutal ways, but then they come back. They regenerate themselves somehow, some way, and you follow the mystery of that, them trying to find Eleanor, and they're yelling at her, you know, what's going on? We need to figure it out. There's these things hunting us. The house is exactly as we remember it, but it's all coated in red, and just, it gives off a very eerie, dark, desperate vibe. The second half of the book, I could not put down. I was engrossed. I wanted to know what was happening, how it was happening, who that creature was that was attacking them all the time. It felt fast, and just, it had a good pacing, and it kept you guessing, and a lot of the twists and turns I did not see coming. So that was always a nice twist too, because a lot of times horror can kind of get kind of predictable. You know the tropes, you know the jokes, and those are in here by all means. The tropes are tropes because we love them, but it does keep a fresh, new perspective on a haunted house and past, and what drives grief, and how far would you go to retain a family. And it does a good job of making you sympathetic towards Eleanor, but also despising everything that she was. The only thing I wish I had more of in that book was a little bit more backstory on Mr. Graves. I thought the backstory that they did tell was very interesting, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I did want to know a little bit more of, there's like this cult in the book. It's a very, Lee Mountford loves to write about the occult and the paranormal and kind of intermingle them together. That's really where his specialty lies. He is fantastic at that. And I would love to learn more about that. Like if there was like a sequel to this book, I would really love it to be about the cult in general. And obviously there's more of those cultists out there, so I would love it to be about that. But my overall take of it, I absolutely adore this book. I am a sucker for a Lee Mountford book. I pretty much, if he writes it, I'm gonna buy it. It's a habit, and it's not sponsored. He did send me this, and I am such a fangirl and so happy that he did, but I would not praise something that I did not enjoy. I'm not one of those people to just say it for hoping that I get something out of it. I truly recommend his books. If you are a paranormal or occult like people who love to read about that, who get enjoyment out of that like I do, his books are phenomenal. They are fast-paced, but they don't feel rushed. They are chock full of the things you love about the paranormal and the occult life, with keeping it new and fresh. And he does such a good job of being descriptive of the trauma and the body horror and the gore without it being extreme horror. There's nothing in it that I would say would throw people off. Like, there doesn't have to be like the big list of trigger warnings on the books. They're still very much mainstream for everybody to read. They don't fall into that category at all, but they are very descriptive and graphic in that term. He does such a good job of describing everything at all times that it's a very visual book, if that makes sense. I love reading his stuff because I see it, I picture it, and you can just tell that he works really hard to get it right, that he probably rereads it over and over and over again until he's satisfied, and he has all these other readers that read it and recommend things, and it's just very nice to give a small indie author the recognition, because he really is a fantastic writer, and I am a sucker. I'm gonna read everything he absolutely has. He has a series that's kind of like Bloodborne, and I really enjoy that game. My boyfriend absolutely, that's his like favorite game ever, and he's trying to get into reading, so I think I might buy that series next and read all of them, because I'm truly intrigued by those two. I think those are really cool. But he definitely Stives is a word. We'll go with that. It's not. He definitely dives more into the paranormal, and that is where my heart lies. I absolutely devour paranormal. So definitely would recommend House of Thorns. It's his largest book to date yet. So it's a pretty hefty book. And this is like his first hurrah in the big hefty books. He does a lot of series writings. He does a lot of standstills. Tormented is a standstill. The Mark, Horror in the Woods, Demonic, they're standstills. And he does have a collection of short stories, which is actually really cool because they also are like prequels to some of his full-length books, and I thought that was really cool because I've read those but not the full-length books yet. Some of them I have, because I do have quite a big collection of his work, and soon to have everything from his work because I'm obsessed. But if you have never read a Lee Mountford book and you want a great standstill, this is phenomenal intro into his works. It is the epitome of who he is as an author. If you don't want to dive into a hefty series like Perrin Manor. But definitely loved it. I read through it pretty rapidly. I couldn't put it down. Just go read it. Go pick it up. Go give Lee Mountford a chance. If you don't want to read House of Thorns, he has plenty of other books. He's on Amazon. He also has his own website. This is not sponsored. I would not send you there if I was not obsessed. So if you like the paranormal, you like the occult, you like Bloodborne, you like that kind of dark, atmospheric, just sucks you in, drives your soul, definitely, please give him a chance because it is phenomenal. You will not be disappointed. I have not shared a book of his with anybody in my life and have them be disappointed by it. So definitely go pick the books up. Go. When you see my horror bingo later on, I have at least 3, if not 4 books by him on my bingo list. So you can bet you'll hear more from him because he's a staple on my bookshelf and will continue to be. And if something changes, I will let you guys know. But until then, do yourself a favor. Go grab it. It's absolute perfection. Wayne, the cat agrees too. Just go grab it. Absolutely. And I will see you guys for another vlog later on.